Madam Web is released and is not doing too well at the box office or in the eyes of reviewers. Got a review here from abcnews.com. God awful is too weak a word to describe everything that's wrong with Madam Web. Spider-Man spinoff stars Dakota Johnson as a titular main character. Produced and associated with Marvel, Madam Web follows in the critically mauled wake of Venom, Venom Let There Be Carnage, and Morbius, the last of which qualified as the worst of the bunch. Till now. It's Morbin time for Morbius is getting his redemption. Is Madam Web bad enough to put the final nail in the coffin of increasingly feeble superhero epics? The jury's still out, but it is second to none in the dark art of boring you breathless. I haven't seen the movie myself. I don't really want to see it. I've kind of been following some things about it, but you can tell from the trailer, I wasn't going to like this movie. I'm not going to support them. I'm not going to give my money to these people to, making movies and stuff it looks like garbage to me, basically. And it's a shame because I like some of the people involved with the movie, but okay. The usually frisky Dakota Johnson is stuck in this 2003 era origin story about the soon-to-be Madam Web, aka Manhattan paramedic Cassie Webb, now struggling with her newfound power to see the future. As a clairvoyant, how could she not predict the disaster ahead? She's not alone in her identity crisis. Sydney Sweeney as nerdy white girl Julia, Isabella Merced as Latina mathlete Anya, and Celeste O'Connor as black skateboarder Maddie. I like how they didn't capitalize white there, but they did capitalize black, but whatever. Flash forwards show them in various stages of Spidey cosplay doing lame things it took 4 screenwriters to concoct. Yes, 4 screenwriters. That's ridiculous. Basically, they're dodging the villainous Ezekiel Sims, a strangely bland Tahir Rahim, who holds up in a penthouse making mischief with a not-so-techie, Zozia Mehmet. For background, the film opens with a spider research trip to the Amazon in which Ezekiel kills Cassie's pregnant mom, but don't worry, spider venom saves the infant Cassie. Huh? My sentiments exactly. Meanwhile, Ezekiel's haunted by visions of these future Spider-Girls who are keen to take him out. He insists they must die. Cassie has other ideas, which she carries out with the help of a fellow paramedic, Ben Parker, whose pregnant sister-in-law is Mary Parker, in relation to Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. One guess. Tangled plot resists deciphering as it forces a connection between characters that defines implausible. It goes on. I'll link this in the description box. You can read it for yourself. There's no point in me reading the whole thing, but who's to blame for choking the life out of Madam Web? The obvious suspect would be the director. And everything, but the real culprit here is the greed manifested by studio suits who keep hawking cheap knockoffs. Feels like it's like a random collection of half-baked ideas thrown into the air and allowed to land with the cynical assumption that we'll buy any lazy hack work that is Spider-Man adjacent. Kill me now. And there's no end in sight. You should know that the SSU has 2 future installments, Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3, ready to go in this year alone. That is definitely more like a threat than a promise. Madam Web comes in at under 2 hours, and that's the best thing I can say about it. Even the thought of a sequel would be cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah, doesn't sound good. What's the Metacritic score for it? 27. Ugh. 2.3 for the user score. It's not very good. What about on Rotten Tomatoes? 13% among the critics. Which, I mean, I'm not sure about you guys, but the way I feel about critics is I really don't care for professional critics. I usually go more by the audience score, which in this case is 55%. That's a heck of a lot better than 13%. Still not great. Still not enough to make me go out and want to see the movie. Because, quite frankly, unless it looks, or unless it is way better than it looks, because it looks like really bad. It looks terrible. It's got some hot chicks in it. That's always a plus. But it just seems so dumb. It just seems ridiculous. Anyway, Madam Web is supposed to be an old woman. For those who don't know, not a young, beautiful woman. Regardless, whatever. It's just dumb. Let's be honest. I don't know about I don't know how anyone else feels about it. But it just, if you've seen the trailer, you might have your mind made up. I know some trailers can be deceiving because sometimes the trailer looks really good. You watch the movie, it's bad. I guess vice versa. Sometimes it happens, the trailer looks bad, the movie turns out to be good. In this case, the trailer looked bad, movie looks bad. I mean, the movie probably is bad. I'm not sure, though. It's hard to say because, like I said, I don't want to just take the critic's word for it. That's not like a professional critic. But some of them are going like so they're going so in on this thing that, I don't know. And it's not because it's not woke enough. I mean, hell, it's got, nary a white man in sight, basically. It's got your diversity quotient with the Latina and the black woman, or women and stuff, But I don't know. Like I said, I'll link all this stuff in the description box and read it for yourself. I pretty much covered everything, but you might want to read it for yourself. I did gloss over a few of the stuff at the end there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and have a good one.